We've been talking a lot about Brian Mulroney, the funeral in Montreal, which CJD, by the way, will have live coverage of Saturday morning beginning at 10. One of the people who will be eulogizing the late Prime Minister is none other than Pierre Karl Peladeau from Quebecor. You've graciously come in today and very much appreciate that. First of all, welcome. It's nice to see you back here.
Yeah, thank you.
I wish the circumstances were different, but regardless. Yeah. I will tell you, when I first saw your name as one of the people who would be eulogizing Mr. Mulroney, I was surprised. And then a little bit of homework later, realized that, of course, you've known him for quite some time. So how did you two originally meet, and what sort of an influence was he on you?
Well, it was a very big influence. First, it started with my father. My father, using lawyers, he was using the law office of Ogilvy Renault. And Mr. Mulroney, when he came back from Quebec City after his law degree and his bar, worked there. And my father used to have a lawyer by the name of Wilbrod Gauthier. And at a certain point, after Le Journal de Montréal was founded in 1964, it was time to negotiate, a first labor agreement. And Mr. Mulroney was, his specialty was labor. So he was asked, to participate. And in fact, he was leading this exercise of signing the first labor agreement. And this is how, the story started. He was there with my father for a while until, obviously he went to politics. And when my father passed away in 1997, he was already, as the chairman of Quebecor World, our printing subsidiary, involved in the company after he left politics. So I used to know him much better and participate in the growth of this specific company. And then, when it was, we made few transactions after my dad passed away. The first one was Sun Media. So we bought the newspapers in Canada, from Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton. And this is certainly something that he was considering of interest because, Mr. Mulroney was kind of addicted to it. Newspapers and information. So now he would be not in charge, but certainly, around this quite interesting environment. I mean, information is certainly something that he likes, and a lot of people are involved, are also, doing the same. So then we bought World Color, and the largest transaction took place with Videotron. So it was of great interest, and then therefore he became chairman of the board of Quebecor, the holding company, in fact, which is the company that is traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange. It was not always easy, This acquisition brought a lot of critics, especially in Toronto, because at the end of the day, we were winners. Against what we can consider, one of the greatest entrepreneur in Canada, which was Ted Rogers. So I guess that Toronto was obviously, kind of upset a little bit about this. And then, time was tough. The internet bubble burst. The valuation of a lot of those assets disappeared, on a night basis. And despite all this, despite the fact that, we were facing critics, he was there. He was there supporting the company. He was there supporting me, supporting the board. One of the greatest thing I think that Mr. Mulroney is all about is loyalty. And he's been always loyal to our company, to our board, to our directors, and to myself and my father. So we greatly appreciate it. And I think also on the other side, I think that I learn and earn a lot of loyalty to Mr. Mulroney. Yeah,
I think I read somewhere that you referred to him as a mentor for a while.
Yes, because, when I became a CEO, I was 37, so young and probably a little bit too much. I don't know, maybe I'll keep my word for me. But it's always good, to be surrounded by persons that have experience, also with judgment, and this is certainly, what Mr. Mulroney was all about. He was not alone. We were forming a team, and I think this team was great. And, where we are today is certainly one of the reasons why, Mr. Mulroney was involved in the company, and that we earned him a lot of success of the company.
I'm going to guess as well, when you say things weren't always easy, obviously when Videotron decided to go ahead and be the big player, I think someone referred to him as putting the Canada into Quebecor, right? He was that face, that voice as a former prime minister who maybe made things easier for the company.
Yes, certainly. But I guess that he was more than that. I guess that, he would be also, as I was mentioning earlier, and as you raise it, a mentor. So for me and for the company, it was one of the greatest, if not, the best asset that, we've been able, to have together.
I'd also, when you say, it's good to have someone older. You were 37 years old when you took over the company, eventually decide to run in provincial politics. And I'd read that he wasn't that thrilled that you had decided to make that decision.
Yes and no, and probably no, because at the end of the day, we were having differences on what we consider, where Canada and Quebec should go. But yes, also because I guess that he was proud, and he's a politician, and he is. I guess that what he did in politics was great, and he can understand that sometimes some people would like to change certain things, and for this. He will understand, and he will even more understand that he would give me also advices as a politician, despite the fact that what the party that you would lead, but as a leader of a party, he would tell me certain things that is of great interest, and
did you listen?
I followed his advice. Yeah.
I will ask you one last thing, because people will be talking about this for a while. How do you think he will be remembered?
For different things, and those different things are of importance one to the other. I'm not gonna rank them because I think all of them are very important. Personally, I would think that in terms of his greatest accomplishment would be when he went going against the apartheid regime in South Africa, when he was looking to get Nelson Mandela liberation, and I think that was one of the strongest message worldwide about where the mankind is going. Maybe mankind is could be considered as a big word, but it sent a message worldwide. I think that he had nothing to win domestically in politics for doing this, other than the respect of all Canadians. But he did it despite the fact that he was facing challenges from Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan, which at the end of the day are certainly not small people. And he succeeded. So I'm completely full of esteem for this achievement. The other thing, which I think is also of importance, and then will also get kind of a large effect on Canadians, is the free trade agreement. We will remember that that was raising a lot of opposition from unions, from other stakeholders, society, social stakeholders, and he thought that that will create more value, more prosperity for all Canadians. And despite the opposition, he was courageous enough, to move forward and continue. It's always easy, to talk afterward, but we should consider today that that free trade agreement was good for Canada, was good for Quebec, was good for all part of the country, and then therefore had been able, to for all citizens, create a better world. And this is certainly something that he was looking for.
And just as a last thing, so you note a couple of issues as far as Canada, Quebec. We know about Meech Lake. We know about the efforts made. Where does he fit in historically as trying to bridge that gap?
Well, unfortunately, we all know that on his perspective, he was not able to succeed, but he certainly succeeded in trying, and therefore, I think that we should recognize all this. He made mistakes? I guess that everybody's making mistakes. Maybe the mistakes he did is that and in the meantime, it was a matter of negotiation, so he was not completely in control. But the time frame, between the signature and the ratification would be a little bit too long, and then therefore, as every political commentator said, they were facing change of government, so the people that signed were not there anymore. So then therefore, they would consider that they didn't have any promise or signature, so they have the capacity to change their mind, and depending of the humor of the public opinion. So then therefore, I guess that this is probably the reason why the agreement was not able to succeed.
I want to thank you for coming in. As I said, I know you're going to be at the funeral on Saturday. You will be providing a eulogy as well. Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Great pleasure for me.